Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to cut right to the heart of something I think we all wonder about. How does one person's suffering and maybe the comfort they find on the other side become a reliable guide for someone else? We're looking at sources that try to build a bridge between, this high-level theological truth and the real, often painful, low points of life, things like chronic depression or deep grief.
And that's really our mission today, isn't it? To understand the mechanism, the transmission. Because it's one thing to know about comfort, it's another thing entirely to actually feel it when you're in the trenches.
Right.
So the question is, how does knowledge move from just being a theory, a beautiful idea, to a powerful experience that actually changes someone? It's like experience itself becomes a kind of currency.
Okay, let's unpack that. The framework you mentioned starts with this principle of shared experience. It's rooted in 2 Corinthians 1. And it sets up this, well, it's almost a paradox, right? If we share in sufferings, we are guaranteed to share in comfort.
Exactly. And what's fascinating there is the mechanics of that guarantee. It's not just that comfort might happen. The text seems to say that suffering is the prerequisite for that comfort becoming, well, transmissible.
Transmissible. I like that. So my pain isn't just my pain.
Precisely. The source says that when we are afflicted, it is for your comfort and salvation. That makes suffering inherently communal.
It turns personal pain into, like, a public resource. But here's the question for me. If a doctrine is supposed to be universal, why doesn't it always work? Why does the transmission need that experiential channel?
That is the critical question. And the source material has this just stunning anecdote to illustrate it. It's about a man named Dr. George W. Truett.
Oh, I know that name.
A legendary figure. He pastored the First Baptist Church in Dallas for half a century. Impeccable credentials, decades of experience.
Okay, so the story starts with the success. Truett officiates a funeral for an infant. And the parents, crucially, they didn't believe yet.
Right. But he delivers this message of faith and comfort. And through that terrible grief, the husband and wife are converted. His guidance worked perfectly.
A perfect outcome.
But then, just a few months later, the same scenario, almost exactly. Another young mother in his congregation loses her infant.
Okay.
Truett comes in, same doctrine, same authority, same compassion, you'd assume. He tries to counsel her, and this time, nothing. His words they bounce right off her grief. They're totally ineffective.
So wait, why, if the truth is still true, why did the pastor's authority fail the second time?
Well, because authority and expertise can sometimes create distance, can't they? To this second mother, he was the professional comforter, the theological expert. His words, no matter how true or how kind, they sounded like theory from someone who hadn't just been there.
Someone from the outside looking in.
Exactly. But then the turning point comes. The first mother, the one who had just been converted a few months earlier through her own infant loss, she approaches the second grieving mother.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
It is. Because she doesn't come with a sermon. She comes with the currency of shared trauma.
She speaks from the ground level.
She does. And the source has this powerful quote. She basically says, I went through this and I know your current difficulty. Jesus has comforted me and Jesus can comfort you.
Wow.
And that shared experience acted as a channel. It opened the path for the comfort to finally be received.
So Truett had the recipe.
But the newly comforted mother had the taste. The undeniable proof that it works. It's the difference between reading a survival guide written by an expert in a warm office and getting a note passed to you from a fellow survivor in the next foxhole.
It validates the pain first.
Yeah.
Which then validates the solution. It moves truth from being an abstract principle into lived, tangible reality.
And that living reality, when it becomes a map for someone else, is what our source material calls yin-lu.
Yin-lu.
Guidance. Our lives, when they're processed through truth, become a path for others to follow.
That connects so directly with some of those big historical examples of guidance. The ones that were just clear, directional, undeniable, like the path for the Israelites in the Exodus.
Absolutely. The guidance was tailored to their immediate need, wasn't it? The pillar of cloud by day. It's shelter from the sun, but it's also a clear marching order.
You just follow it.
You just follow it. And then by night, the pillar of fire, warmth, protection, and a light in total darkness. The guidance was daily, persistent, visible.
And not just for the in-group either. I'm thinking of the Star of Bethlehem, the Magi who followed it. The source points out they were likely Gentiles, Persians, outsiders.
Yes. That guidance was so powerful it drew people across huge geographical and cultural distances right to the foundational truth.
But the thing about a pillar of fire or a star is that they're external signs. Everyone can see them.
That's a great point. And if we connect that to the guide mentioned in Psalm 119, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. It shows that guidance eventually becomes personal. It requires us to actually walk.
So Yin-Lu isn't just a sign in the sky.
No, it's also the path marked out by those who have walked faithfully before us.
Okay, so if the biblical principle sets the stage and history shows us what clear guidance looks like, how does this actually work now? How do we build that bridge between pure doctrine and, living, breathing testimony today?
This is where the modern contrast in the sources becomes so essential. We have these two figures, a theologian, a pastor focused on teaching and nurturing, and his co-laborer, an elder named Jun Yu.
And they started working together, around 2018?
That's right, they became spiritual friends, collaborators. And their dynamic is this perfect synthesis of doctrine and experience.
They sound like total opposites.
Yeah.
The pastor is recording spiritual programs, focusing on the theological foundation.
The head, you could say.
While the elder is writing articles, sharing his life stories, focusing on the application.
The heart and their backgrounds, they couldn't be starker. While the pastor was deep in theological study, Elder Yu was in the ruthless, high-stakes world of finance.
Not just in finance. He was the CEO, the general manager of an IPO company.
Yes. So think about that. He's dealing with stock markets, with mergers, with millions of dollars every single day, a world of material power and control.
And yet, all of that power, all of that control, it offered zero defense against what came next.
None at all. The source says that due to some specific, unique pressure, he fell into this deep, debilitating, severe depression. It started in 2011.
This wasn't just a bad patch.
No, not a temporary burnout. This was a dark night of the soul that lasted for 7 agonizing years.
7 years.
Imagine being at the absolute pinnacle of the finance world, the master of external leverage, and being completely crippled by an internal darkness that money and power can't touch.
He was trapped.
Completely, until he was healed by the Holy Spirit in 2018.
And that suffering is what validates his comfort now. No theoretical teaching could ever do that.
And that juxtaposition is the entire point. God uses the intellectual strength of the pastor and the agonizing, hard-won experience of the former CEO.
One teaches the way of truth.
And the other demonstrates the journey through the darkest valley.
It brings us right back to that distinction, doesn't it? The difference between truth or doctrine and testimony or experience, and why you need both.
You have to have both. The source material uses this phenomenal analogy about food.
Okay.
It says that truth or doctrine is the root. It has to be the foundation. But if you only speak doctrine, rules, laws, abstract ideas, it's like admiring a meticulously written, beautiful recipe.
Your recipe is perfect, it's correct.
It's totally correct.
Right.
But you can't eat the recipe.
Right, you can't taste it, you're just left with theory.
Exactly. The testimony Elder Yu, sharing his 7 years of darkness, and then the healing, that is the delicious meal. It's the proof that the recipe works, that the ingredients actually combine to produce something real, something nourishing.
So the theologian and the former CEO, together they provide both the recipe and the meal. They make the guidance, the Yin-Lu, something you can almost taste.
Yes. The elder's specific experience. It resonates with people who feel crushed by professional pressure or these internal battles that success can't fix.
The shared trial creates an instant recognition.
And that allows real strength to be transmitted. It's proof that the same truth is powerful enough to sustain a pastor through his life and also to lift a 7-year depression from a high-powered executive. Truth is applied, it's refined in the fire of suffering, and then it's shared.
So as we wrap up, what does this synthesis really mean for us, for you listening? This deep dive has shown that being an effective guide isn't just about knowing the truth. It's about being willing to share the specific ways that truth refined and comforted us when we were lost. We have to show the map we drew in the dark.
And that raises a really powerful final thought for you to consider. It's taken from the reflective questions in the source material. As you look at your own personal journey, do you more often share your hardships, the pain, the struggle, the ingredients, or do you more often share the comfort you've received, the finished meal, the transformation?
That's a challenging question.
It is, because the choice determines whether your hard-won experience stays a burden or whether it becomes that reliable guide, that Yin-Lu, for someone else.
A profound thought to end on. Thank you for walking this path with us today.
I wish you peace and joy.